I'm just,
Hello.
how are you?
I had to unmute myself.
Good to see you. That a picture
Hi.
of the motorcycle on your wall behind you?
Me, oh yeah, I have a bike. I've had a motorcycle since 92.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got a little too heavy to ride it, and then with my work with my hands, so we're working on probably putting it back on the road for a bit. It's 89 Sportster.
Cute.
It's a zippy one.
Those are almost scarier than the bigger bikes. The bigger bikes are like Cadillacs to me. I mean, they're just smooth, you know?
I know, but with this one here, I don't know, small, nimble. It's been a while since I've been on it. My boyfriend was a motorcycle mechanic for years. He loved to wire like old Harleys, Indians. He used to do wiring and he's a painter. So it's been a couple different colors.
Cool. That's fun.
Nice to have a handyman like that.
Yes, and my handyman is about 90% recovered from his knee replacement surgery. So he's doing his own chores now, finally.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
The little things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But
Can't wait to ride up here in New York because Florida was
oh,
flat and so congested. You couldn't find a road that was you felt safe on. There was so much
Yeah.
everywhere.
you're in a beautiful area. Upstate New York is glorious.
Yeah.
It really is. Really, really
Beautiful.
is.
I can't wait to.
And when you come into, if you ever come over here east, like when you're coming into it, especially on I-90, you get a certain point once you get past Albany and you get into the mountains and you're coming into Massachusetts into the Mass Pike. It is you, you wouldn't even believe it. It reminded me somewhat of like the mountains in Hawaii. Because they're straight up and they're pointed and it's just valleys and the Hudson River and it's New York is a beautiful state.
It is, yeah.
Didn't
It
have
really is.
up, and then I lived in. My parents were from. My grandparents had a place in Saranac Lake. They had a bar there, so my father grew up there. So we would go up to Lake Placid every or Saranac,
Oh,
the winter festival. Oh my gosh, the ice sculptures,
I know.
such great memories.
Wow.
And I'd always ski on Hunter Mountain in New
Oh,
York,
yeah. I was there, yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
cool. I miss. I mean, I'm excited to be back.
Mm.
Yes, yes, you got so many new adventures to do. You and
Mm.
Fred will be out there riding them bikes like badass bikers.
Swear we got tired of it in Florida because of the traffic. It was just such
Oh,
anywhere
yeah.
there was,
Yeah,
and I mean, I think up here it'll be better because they have so many roads, number one. And we if we get away from Rochester, the country's amazing.
Mm.
yes, yes, it is.
It'll be
Very,
great.
very, very much.
I remember I used to visit my friend in Tampa Bay a lot, and I would go for walks, you know. People would actually stare out their windows at me walking. They couldn't figure it out.
It's very busy, right? It's very congested.
Everyone's in their car. Yeah, everyone. It was lovely though. I loved it there.
Yeah, and I love they have sidewalks here and all the houses don't look the same. In Florida, all the
Yeah,
houses look the same.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
build the same house over and over and over and different in the neighborhoods. That's the way they're doing it.
Yeah,
Like with LGI and all the other home companies.
Mm.
I know when you go, like when you go to other places, my girlfriend lives in it's Phoenix, or you go like San Diego and stuff, and everything is that same. It's
It looks the
brown and
Phoenix.
tan.
I
And
felt like I was on a different planet because we lived in Phoenix for a little while. I felt like
yeah, and you're just kind of like just you you almost need a GPS just to get home because everything looks the same. And then you come out here, I always love it like when I fly somewhere like that. And as soon as I get off the plane in Boston, I can smell the sea, I can smell the pine trees, and then you smell the jet fuel exhaust. But other than that, the first thing I always smell is the ocean, and then I smell pine trees. and it's green. And I'm like, I'll put up with the winters, I guess.
It's not bad.
I like the 4 seasons, we're going to come into that really rough one where you're not quite sure till about the end of June. Am I really in spring?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
that's what March, that's what Freddie said. It goes back and forth from here.
yeah, March is huh. But then April, you start driving down the road and you're like, oh, you can see green tint on the branches. And you're like, oh, they're budding out. Because right now we're in serious maple season. So
Yeah,
maple season's in February.
everybody's excited. They're-
Yes. Yeah. Hit a sugar shack somewhere.
What's
They're
that?
all over.
What is that?
Um, where they make where they make the maple syrup. If you just Google um local sugar shacks and stuff, and then you can go in, you can watch them, and they always have treats. We have a lady here, we call her Sugar Mama, and she comes to all the farmers markets and she makes maple ice cream, soft serve maple ice
Oh,
cream.
nice.
I mean, it'll put you in a diabetic coma in a second. You can only get a little cup, but and she goes, I drink a shot glass of maple syrup every single day. My son would always say, Mom, I could just drink this stuff right out of the jar. I'm like, well, don't, because the rest of us want some too.
That's wow, that's crazy.
I know.
So we
Make,
left off on chapter 1, section,
yes.
I believe, right?
Let me see.
5 at the beginning of section 5, wholeness and spirit. And this is on page 12.
Okay.
And I think we can start now. It's 11:08. Would anyone like to read?
Are you going to pray us in? Someone
Sure,
want to pray?
sure.
I'm all bossy, huh?
Needed that reminder because I'm a little all over the place sometimes. We offer ourselves to you to do with us as you will. Please help us to be open and to hear your word this morning. Help us to be patient and kind and loving in the world. Help us to live with an open heart and an open mind, and to be a hand for someone in need. And so it is. Amen.
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 Thank you. I needed that grounding, honestly. Now, would you like to read, Fran?
Yeah, is it number 1 you're at?
We're at, yeah, number 1 under 5, wholeness and spirit.
Okay. So, the miracle is much like the body in that both are learning aids for facilitating a state in which they become unnecessary. When spirit's original state of direct communication is reached, neither the body nor the miracles serve any purpose. While you believe you are in a body, however, you can choose between loveless and miraculous channels of expression. You can make an empty shell, but you cannot express nothing at all. You can wait, delay, paralyze yourself, or reduce your creativity almost to nothing, but you cannot abolish it. You can destroy your medium of communication, but not your potential. You did not create yourself.
Yeah, I love this because for me, what came to me right now is that we're always projecting either love or fear.
Yeah.
I love how it says you can choose between loveless and miraculous channels of expression.
Yeah. Wow.
You cannot express nothing at all.
Right.
Yeah, that's a pretty heavy paragraph.
Yeah.
It says a lot. Hi,
Yeah.
Brad.
Hi, where are we?
We're
Hi.
on 5 on page 12. We're the first paragraph of wholeness and spirit. Paragraph 1 is what Fran just read.
I don't have page numbers. I'm gonna, what section is that?
It's chapter 1, section 5, wholeness and spirit.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
And I'm sorry, which paragraph is it?
We just read the first paragraph.
Okay.
Fran, do you want to continue to read?
Yeah. I like that bit also about creativity. You cannot abolish it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, if anyone's wants to continue sharing too.
You did not create yourself. That's great. Yeah. Okay, number 2. The basic decision of the miracle-minded is not to wait on time any longer than is necessary. Time can waste as well as be wasted. The miracle worker therefore accepts the time control factor gladly. He recognizes that every collapse of time brings everyone closer to the ultimate release from time, in which the Son and the Father are one. Equality does not imply equality now. When everyone recognizes that he has everything, individual contributions to the sonship will no longer be necessary. Yeah, I like that. Time can waste as well as be wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard that before. Yeah.
I just love every collapse of time brings everyone closer to the ultimate release from time. It's in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lovely. Everyone talks about time so much.
Yeah, and also that moment is facilitated by our ability to do what it says in the first sentence, which is the basic decision. We do have that power. What I've noticed is that the conversation, that I'm born into, which, when I started to speak, everybody was saying, this is this, that's that, this is this way, that's that way. That conversation, which is no more than just a narrative that's happening, you could say like the neurons firing, that's what's going to show up, says that I don't have the power of decision. Like things are this way, things are that way. You don't have a choice about it, but actually the narrative or the story, whatever words we want to use for that, that says that is nothing more than a context. It isn't. And the miracle restores my mind to the recognition that I can make that decision and it's guiding me the decision to make, which is I can decide, I can choose not to wait on time. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. It doesn't mean that I'm subject to it, but the conversation in my head would say I sure am.
Mm.
And it does say that, And then I believe in it, and then there I am, and then I am in the experience of time, says time can waste. And that is what, when I'm in that, that's what I feel. I feel like I'm being wasted or something is, I don't know, depleted or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm grateful. It can happen in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it
And
does.
yeah. And we share that with one another. We serve as reminders for one another that no matter what has happened or what's seemed to have happened, that right now we are, you are that. You are able.
Mm-hmm.
100%. 100%. We can choose that we can choose that. It's not like I have to or a should, you know, but wow, it's like a get to, it's and there's some gratitude with that. That's just natural. It's not something I'm manufacturing.
Right. I love it too when all of a sudden you'll just kind of like you recognize it. An example of this, like having to change something, where you just go, well, it's always like this, it's always like this, it's always like this. Well, I needed to go to the grocery store yesterday. In the area where I live in, I've always just kind of noticed like on a Saturday, between like about 11 in the morning to about 4 in the afternoon, it's nuts. You can't get around here. Everyone's doing, everyone's doing their weekly shopping. Traffic's all over. Everyone's in a hurry. They have a list. And I think in my head, oh, you dumb bunny, why did you pick Saturday to have to go to Market Basket and go all the way the other end of Dover? And so, and then it was so pleasant though, when I said, stop, it's going to be good. And I just did my errands yesterday and everyone was so sweet, so thoughtful. It wasn't crazy, chaotic. And that's when you just kind of realize it's what you put in your mind. You're projecting that stuff out there. And when you don't do it, like even when I got in my car, I'm like, I hit all the lights green, that kind of stuff. And and you just met the most pleasant people. And even the parking lot wasn't nuts. So it's kind of like you have to stop yourself from projecting what you think it always is,
Yeah.
And that's where I was done in half the time I thought it was going to take me to, so
Wow.
it's just the way you look at stuff and you just stop. Okay, no, this is going to be, we used to always say, send God before you. I travel a lot with my Airstream, and each time I get in my car in the morning when I stop or I'm hitting the road, I send God and Jesus ahead of me. My travel is going to be safe. It's going to be good. Everyone's going to be safe around me, and no deer are going to come out of the woods. I say the deer prayer. No deer, please. I don't want
It's a big ask.
to hit a deer. So you just kind of like, you send him first into the room. Always send him first into the room before you enter it. And I don't know, just if you can get that in your head, you don't always remember it, but it's good.
Yeah. Like that saying, has to be seen to be believed. If you switch it around, it has to be believed to be seen.
Exactly. That's perfect. Has to be believed to be seen.
So simple.
I know. I love it.
Oh,
Anybody else like to read paragraph 3?
I'm happy to read if nobody wants to.
yeah.
I don't want to take anybody's shot though.
No.
Okay. Paragraph 3. When the atonement has been completed, all talents will be shared by all the sons of God. God is not partial. All his children have his total love, and all his gifts are freely given to everyone alike. Except ye become as little children, quote unquote, means that unless you fully recognize your complete dependence on God, you cannot know the real power of the Son in his true relationship with the Father. The specialness of God's sons does not stem from exclusion, but from inclusion. All my brothers are special. If they believe they are deprived of anything, their perception becomes distorted. When this occurs, the whole family of God or the sonship is impaired in its relationships. So it stands out to me, it talks about all minds are joined. I remember I was doing a training, a leadership program, and you know, I really, was struggling with something because it was changing my whole life. It was changing my whole frame of reference for everything. And um, I remember the program leader, we had a conversation and she said, listen, it's really imperative that we get you clear because you can take out half the world in this state.
Wow.
And, back then I had done a little bit with the course, but not a lot. But at the same time, I still knew that what she was saying, there was something in me that knew that was true. And it was that state of fear that I was in. My head identity had begun to collapse, and then I was left with a recognition of what I wasn't, not filled in by what the truth of what that is yet, and then relationships that were speaking to constantly the old identity that I had believed that I was, and I had trained them to that. And so now I was speaking from a completely different place, and no one could hear me. So I didn't know what was going on. It was not easy. I just had to go through it. But and the same is true. It's like when the miracle comes and the clarity is there, everyone is lifted up. I mean,
Yes.
we may not even know how that happened. How did I just happen to have this good day? You know? And I love that it works that way. I tell people it means that I don't have to stand out in the street with a sign that says, "Hey, follow me."
It wouldn't work.
Oh.
They'd be like, where are we going?
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
It means I don't have to badger people, right? Or I can sit at my kitchen table, I can do my forgiveness lessons, however, I practice that on paper, and it has effects on the whole. And it's so kind because it doesn't impose into anybody's life or insist, you know, on something.
yeah,
Yeah.
I tend to try to use, because your brain is going all the time. So I tend to just try to do it in real life. Like when we had our Airstream rally in Sedalia, Missouri, where this, Yankee girls in the heart of Missouri in October last year. And the president of my interclub, Cherie, she says to me, she goes, "Have you ever met someone who was a stranger?" I said, "I don't know." But I think I projected out there. People would just talk to me. You can ask my sister. I will go into a grocery store, and if there's babies and little kids in there, they're following me around. Follow me with their eye. And I go, "You think I'm this scary lady, but I go, I think it's that after a while and your mind, you're constantly thinking, I'm looking into the eyes of my brother. I'm standing, I'm standing here with God. And it does come out of you, you know, eventually it does. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have some pretty good thoughts on stuff. I try to control them. But sometimes it doesn't.
Listen, yeah, we love you.
Yeah,
You were
I
perfect.
probably, I probably did it. I've been terrible lately. I see one of those cyber trucks or something. I just give it the finger. I'm
Oh.
driving.
It's a,
You know,
a very challenging time right now, and I think
very challenging.
we're all training in forgiveness
Yes, and
over and over again, and it's okay.
I just look at it as you know, when you're tearing things down to bring it back up, it is flipping ugly, whether you're doing this work,
Mhm.
whether you're doing spiritual work, whether you're doing anything. And this is gonna be really ugly, but I choose to see the good that comes out of some of this. People who would normally not say or do anything are showing their colors, which is good. They're standing up for other people, and that's what I believe in. So, yeah,
Yeah, and people are changing their minds.
Yes, I love that. I'm seeing that
I
every.
saw that, yeah.
yes,
Mm,
like don't be scared to change your mind.
yeah.
And that the change, the willingness to change my mind sort of opens the door to then what the mirror I might be saying that I might decide to change my mind on a specific situation, but then when the miracle comes, it's like it opens it up to whoa. How, and then I see, wow, I was really blind on this and this and this and this and this.
Yes.
And then I'm in the flow of that, and the curriculum is taking off. I mean, hitting bottom with alcoholism wasn't easy, you know. But if I didn't have that, and I was just like, excuse my language, that I would just be a garden variety asshole. I could go to the end of my life doing that. I
Yes.
had a little stamina for that, and it was painful.
Yeah.
It's about I love that if I don't have an openness, and I have to look at it for myself, but even if I don't have an openness, I'm not right on everything. There are things I don't know. I, I have to have that openness to even embrace the things that irk me, and to investigate that, and not like be blinded, because I can allow that, and I can clasp onto that veil of righteous indignation. And where does that get? It doesn't get me anywhere. That's a
Just
separate.
gives you
Yeah,
a headache,
yeah,
heartburn.
exactly. Indigestion. So
Uh,
Yeah, that brings me back, that recognition to get that openness brings me back like to this sentence where he's talking about, except you become as little children means that unless I fully recognize my complete dependence on God. And Rebecca, you said it well when you talked about sending God or Jesus first.
mhm,
It's like, okay, then I step back.
exactly. Step back, let him go, and you follow in, and and you do that with everything.
yes, absolutely. I
My
mean,
sister, yeah, she always sends me a prayer like when I'm traveling. My sister Bonnie will always go, I got you in the God bubble. I said, okay, thanks. I always call it the God bubble. And that's
Oh,
what that is. He's going first because you want him to go first because then you know that he's your shield
okay.
of
Mhm,
love, protection. And that's all we really want is to feel loved and protected
yeah,
mhm.
about our feelings, ourselves, safety.
I had this prayer, and I think it's from AA in my car. It says, "I God, I ask your protection and care wherever
Yes.
I go." And I kept it in my car, so I'd remember that every time I.
Yeah, I have little stuff all over it. I go, if I ever get rid of a car, I'm like going, should I take all my stuff off of it?
You should see mine.
Well, I have the coolest little bobblehead. I got it from a guy from work. He had left it in my locker years ago, and it's a dancing Jesus.
Oh, I love it.
And so, I got the hula girl from Hawaii, and I got the dancing Jesus over here, and he's there. I'm driving here, so I always got Jesus with me, and I thought, should I point him this way or should I? I like to look at him, so I have him pointed at me.
Mm, mm. Wow.
That's funny. It's funny how people just give you stuff. You're like, that's the coolest thing I ever seen. He's only like
Yeah.
what the heck?
Oh.
And he's going like this.
If I saw one in the store, I'd pick it up. So
Oh, I
Yeah,
picked up all of them and give them to everybody.
yeah.
Uh,
What did you say the prayer was, Maureen, you have in the car? I didn't quite get it.
God, do you know what it is, Brad, offhand? God, I ask your care and protection.
Which one is it?
Basically,
I can say the
short
third.
one. Yeah, it's a short one about asking God for care and protection wherever you go.
Um,
It's
I
very,
mean, there's a section that said we ask his protection and care with complete
yes,
abandon.
that's exactly what it was. Yes. And that's what I have.
Complete abandon.
Yeah. I ask your
And
care and protection with complete abandon.
yeah, and it like I remember the first time that I took the third step prayer, luckily I'd had a little preparation to lead me up to that because by the time I got to the prayer, what the prayer says is, I offer myself to you to do with me and to build with me as thou will. Relieve me of the bondage of self that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them would bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. And by the time I got to read that prayer, I knew that, yeah, it was like the drinking was bad, but what was really bad was I couldn't think my way out of anything in my life. The more that I tried, the worse it got. And when I could see that, it made me come to a place that I could ask with complete abandon because
Mm.
the concept of God that I had at the time was a very judgmental God. I was hurting so bad that I was willing to surrender to being just absolutely condemned and judged. And in that childlike willingness, the love that came, it was, I mean, I just can't even describe the experience. It was so opposite. It's like the furthest opposite you could get. And it's total also. There's nothing missing from it, and nothing was asked. Everything was given.
Mm. Wow.
Mm.
Absolutely. It's beautiful.
And it just changed me. It's like I say it's the addiction you can't get over. Can't get over that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you cannot.
It's finally the right one. You know.
Wow.
Someone like to pick up the reading?
Yeah, y'all want me to go on?
Sure.
Okay. Chapter 4. Ultimately, every member of the family of God must return. The miracle calls him to return because it blesses and honors him, even though he may be absent in spirit. Quote, God is not mocked, end quote, is not a warning, but a reassurance. God would be mocked if any of his creations lacked holiness.
Mm.
But creation is whole, and the mark of wholeness is holiness. Miracles are affirmations of sonship, which is a state of completion and abundance. Whatever is true is eternal and cannot change or be changed. Spirit is therefore unalterable because it is already perfect, but the mind can elect what it chooses to serve. The only limit put on its choice is that it cannot serve two masters. If it elects to do so, the mind can become the medium by which spirit creates along the line of its own creation. If it does not freely elect to do so, it retains its creative potential, but places itself under tyrannous rather than authoritative control. As a result, it imprisons because such are the dictates of tyrants. To change your mind means to place it at the disposal of true authority.
Wow.
Again, just so reassuring, right? Because the ego thought system, at least in the way that it manifests in my life, which is like constant. It didn't occur this way early on, but it was underneath all of my anger, all of my resentments, all of the things that I was irritated by was this such low self-esteem. I mean, I just didn't have it like I had any holiness in me. And that's what made it ultimately so hard to come to the spiritual path because I thought if I did, that's what I was going to find. And there was really no way to make up for the things that I had done. And it was really, that was happening at a lower level of consciousness. And what my ego kept on the surface level of consciousness was all my complaints about the world. Because if I could find what was bad over there, it wouldn't be so bad over here. And it takes, it still takes a lot of, I don't know, practice, repetition, um, to come to this that it's not a warning, it's a reassurance, to acceptance of that, to true acceptance of that.
That's perfectly said.
Mm.
It's an assurance.
Or,
Yeah, I
yeah,
like that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then every miracle is and it says that, an affirmation of that,
Mhm.
a reminder of that. And then from that, it's like, I don't know, something just totally different comes forth, you know. It just wants to reach out and just remind people of their absolute goodness, wholeness, talents, abilities, creativity, intelligence, on and on and on,
Mm.
and watch them light up with happiness.
I know, and I think that's one of the hardest things to step back from is trying to get somebody to see that in themselves. When you're like, oh, if you could just only see how perfect you really are, how loved you really are, you can think it in your mind. And that's where I go with Helen, and she's just like, you send it in your mind. You just keep saying it in your mind. And hopefully they'll see that, when you see people in pain, and it's usually emotional pain, is acting out in a different form, whatever, whatever that could be. But that's always, like when I see somebody just kind of like lose their shit about something, I'm just like, that is so totally something different than what it's actually about.
Mm.
Like when you're just like, they are in pain and they don't know it.
Yeah.
Or when I do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Well, here's an example for whatever reason, probably because it's winter. And I wasn't going to do it, but I did. I watched the Netflix documentary of Ruby Frankie.
me too.
That was very disturbing because throughout all of it, and even up to the very end, all they just kept talking about was God, God, God.
And it
And
was
I was like, well, that's not the God that I know
Mm,
and wants for me. But
disturbing.
it was just, it was just the whole, and I think it's triggering. It's probably why I couldn't completely watch or complete the book Handmaid's Tale. I just very triggering. And it all comes down to that basis of using God for other than what he is,
mhm, mhm,
because I
mhm.
only know a loving
Yeah.
God.
But probably when we were children, we didn't know that. We only knew the God to be afraid of.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I got the old Bibles and stuff, and and I usually go to church. Like I was baptized Lutheran. When I go down to Texas and see my cousin, I usually go to church with her. My sisters are Catholic. Um, other two, I go with them, but I go, that is exclusive. I can't take communion. I can't do, any of that stuff. And I don't always believe with what they say anyway.
Right.
And then I got my sister Bonnie, who's on the same path as me. So
Yeah, I don't mind going to It's not, it's just the religion that I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
God.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
because I just kind of believe that you need to do this in your everyday life. An example, in 2019, in fact, all these memories were just coming up on it's Facebook. We went to Mexico for 10 days. We did a retreat with Lisa Natoli. It was just the best time of my life. It was so awesome and spiritual, and the community down there though, but there's a community and they just stay in the community.
Such a loving community too. It's not
Yeah,
some of the community can be really mean, but it's not that.
yeah.
It's a loving
It's
community.
a very, it's Jimmy Twyman and them and but a lot of them just go there and just stay there. And I believe that we need to practice in a real world
Yes.
Yeah.
setting, or we need to be in, I mean, a retreat here and there is fun, but not to live 2, 3,
No.
4, 5 years.
No.
I don't think I could do that.
Because
Yeah.
you need to get your light out there.
Yeah.
That light needs to get out there.
Yeah.
And if you stay with everyone who is like-minded, and then that's a really funky little community too, because they all got their own idea what they're doing,
I was gonna
some
say
of them,
that could be challenging too.
and
Yeah.
that's also a practice in your spirituality.
Yeah.
Forgiveness all over.
Yeah.
Like when you say, "Oh, my knee doesn't hurt," your body's not really about. I'm like, get out of here.
I know, I hate that. Just like
Oh God. Yeah.
God's body parts don't hurt. Yeah, it does. It hurts like crazy right now. I fell. No.
in a loving way, a lot of people, but still it's like
Yeah.
I know. They're just like really, it's just really kind of funny, but probably, and I've never done this before, they do a Yankee swap out here for Christmas time. And probably the most vicious thing I ever seen was the Course of Miracles community do a Yankee swap. There was some viciousness going on there.
Oh,
Because you draw numbers, and when you're number one, you pick a gift, and then I don't know, I'd never done it
Oh,
before.
yeah.
And
Take somebody else.
One. Yeah.
yeah, you can steal their gift from that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Crazy,
that got really
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened to God? He's here right
spirituality
now.
went out the window, huh?
Yeah. Totally.
Just took over. The me.
It's just funny to
Read.
see that stuff. That cracks me up.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh Lordy.
That's
I was
fun.
like, oh, and I probably only been doing the book probably about a year and a half, 2 years or so. So I was like, oh, that was fun.
Eye-opening.
Anyway,
Wow.
maybe Brad finishes out.
That last paragraph.
yeah. The miracle is a sign that the mind has chosen to be led by me in Christ's service. The abundance of Christ is the natural result of choosing to follow him. All shallow roots must be uprooted because they are not deep enough to sustain you. The illusion that shallow roots can be deepened and thus made to hold is one of the distortions on which the reverse of the golden rule rests. As these false underpinnings are given up, the equilibrium is temporarily experienced as unstable. However, nothing is less stable than an upside down orientation, nor can anything that holds it upside down be conducive to increased stability.
Ooh.
Woo, is that not what we're seeing right now happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I think I'll just try this one more time.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
and also, for us, because we're reading this book, it's and for me, it's this opportunity to step forward in trust, step forward in trust, and the conversations I'm having with people are I just want to like, ask, what is it that, and listen for what is it that you really want for yourself in your life? And then whatever they say, because it could be like, it could be what we would call like an ego desire, but there's always something that's underneath that. It's like they might say they want money, but what's underneath that? And I can listen for that. And when they hear that they've been heard, their experience of life alters. And my
Yeah.
experience of what I'm available for alters as well. People seek for purpose like that, like I'm supposed to invent something, and no, it's like right here, right now.
Yeah, I think the key word to that is people want to be heard. They don't always want to be told they're right or wrong or whatever, but they just they just want to be heard. And it's a age-long thing. Women are probably a little bit better at it than men. Sometimes we just need to say it. We don't need advice. We just want to be heard and then we'll continue on.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, it's just kind of like I just got to say my piece and then that's okay. I don't need advice on it, but you just want to be heard that somebody can see you,
Yeah.
see
My
your
poor
pain.
husband, when we first got together, he was always trying to fix everything. And I was like, no, I just want you to just listen. You don't have to do anything. Just listen to me. And he does.
Mm.
But they're natural fixers, or, he was
Exactly.
a natural
Yeah.
fixer and didn't even realize that
Yeah.
he was just trying to make it better.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, because they love you, they don't want to see you in pain.
I do that.
And it, it's what mother and fathers do with their kids. You don't want to see them, but we need that for character building somewhat, but we just want to be heard,
Yeah.
And
you
love.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of
Yeah,
just
when
to be
when
heard.
I'm upset, it's like I'm already in that moment feeling so separate. We talked about that a little bit a couple of weeks ago about that is the problem is our sense of separation.
Mhm.
And, you know, the experience of hearing that I've been heard, then whatever it was that I was talking about, I probably am not even going to remember
Exactly. That's
because
the
it's
best.
it's not the specifics. It's that I'm afraid, I'm afraid I've done something wrong. I'm afraid I am something wrong, and I'm afraid that I'm separate from God, that's not coming back, and I can't find it again.
Isn't that the
And
truth?
when you hear me, and I heard that you heard me, uh, it just it just goes away.
Mm. Yeah. All want to be heard and understood, accepted,
Yeah.
really, I suppose.
Hmm.
Yep.
Somebody was talking the other night about, trans people, and she said, I don't understand it. And I said, you don't have to understand it, just accept it.
Hmm.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
and
you don't have to understand.
no, no,
Yeah,
we're all,
and
Let live, love and let love. I mean,
yeah,
what?
yeah,
yeah, the forgiveness is like I cancel my goal to understand it,
Yes,
yeah, right, good. Yeah, that's a nice one.
absolutely. I love that.
Mm, mm, very good.
and then I don't have to understand anything. I'm available.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
And then
yeah,
what comes is like all this understanding.
yeah. Great, wouldn't it? Yeah, so great. Mm.
I'm so grateful just to hear Brad say, I cancel my goal. It just takes me back. I just love that. I miss that.
Aw.
Mhm.
I have a lot of them, and they're all super helpful.
And it's true because we can cancel it and we just don't pause to say
Yeah,
cancel that
yeah,
goal. We could do that to ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah, I think somewhere, I don't know how many years ago, and I don't know, it just happened organically. I'm not a goal maker. You know, like I don't go, well, here's my goal I want to do. Like, I suppose my goal would be to live a good life until I'm not here on this earthly plane anymore. But other than that, like I don't have a goal for reading the book or a goal for, when I went in for the weight loss surgery about a year and a half ago, they're like, well, what's your goals? And I'm like, my only goal was to get off all the insulin and all the stuff, which I did.
Mm.
That was my goal. But I don't
Mm.
have a goal like I want to weigh 147 pounds. And I'm like, that's not me, you know.
Mm.
I'm a I'm a German girl. I look like my grandmother. We're gonna be round our whole life. We like sauerkraut and bread and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm not a goal maker. So that's whenever someone tells me, well, what's your goals for this course? And I was just like a deer in the headlights. I'm like, what?
No
I,
idea.
It's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
make a goal? I don't know.
Mm. Live in the
Yeah.
moment.
Class?
Mm.
Nowadays, I'm like, danger, danger.
I know. I know. Yeah,
Mm.
it's just funny with goals.
Mm. Yeah.
Want to down another paragraph or two?
Sure.
Yeah.
Becca,
Yeah. So we're
Okay.
in the illusion of needs.
Yep.
yeah, paragraph.
Okay. You who want peace can find it only by complete forgiveness. No learning is acquired by anyone unless he wants to learn it and believes in some way that he needs it. While lack does not exist in the creation of God, it is very apparent in what you have made. It is, in fact, the essential difference between them. Lack implies that you would be better off in a state somehow different from the one you are in.
Oh my God.
Until the separation, which is the meaning of the fall, nothing was lacking. There were no needs at all. Needs arise only when you deprive yourself. You can act according to the particular order of the needs you establish. This, in turn, depends on your perception of what you are. A sense of separation from God is the only lack you really need correct. This sense of separation would never have arisen if you had not distorted your perception of truth and had thus perceived yourself as lacking. The idea of order of needs arose because having made this fundamental error, you had already fragmented yourself into levels with different needs. As you integrate, you become one, and your needs become one accordingly. Unified needs lead to unified action because this produces a lack of conflict.
Well, do you want to bust this out, or is it? I guess we could stop there. Let's
Mm.
I
stop.
mean, I can go if y'all want to.
Like these all just lead to the order of needs.
Mhm.
The miracle proceeds along these lines. Whatever you guys think.
Y'all want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we
The
should have
idea,
time to finish this.
Mm.
okay. The idea of orders of need, which follows from the original error that one can be separated from God, requires correction at its own level before the error of perceiving levels at all can be corrected. You cannot behave effectively while you function on different levels. However, while you do, correction must be introduced vertically from the bottom up. This is because you think you live in space where concepts such as up and down are meaningful. Ultimately, space is as meaningless as time. Both are merely beliefs. The real purpose of this world is to use it to correct your unbelief. You can never control the effects of fear yourself because you made fear and you believe in what you made. In attitude, then, though not in content, you resemble your creator who has perfect faith in his creations because he created them. Belief produces the acceptance of existence. That is why you can believe what no one else thinks is true. It is true for you because it was made by you.
Mm.
All aspects of fear are untrue because they do not exist at the creative level and therefore do not exist at all. To whatever extent you are willing to submit your beliefs to this test, to that extent are your perceptions corrected. In sorting out the false from the true, the miracle proceeds along these lines. Perfect love casts out fear. If fear exists, then there is not perfect love, but only perfect love exists. If there is fear, it produces a state that does not exist. Believe this, and you will be free. Only God can establish this solution, and this faith is his gift.
Hmm.
Well, we can unpack a lot in that little prayer, huh?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to read it all, because it just
Yeah.
leading you up to that. So I just felt like
Yeah.
that was important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a little surgery there.
Yes, we need a scalpel.
Yes.
I love that though. Perfect love casts out fear.
Yeah.
If fear exists, then there is not perfect love.
Mm-hmm.
Only perfect love exists. If there is fear, it produces a state that does not exist.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
love
perfectly
So
said.
beautiful. It's like that's all you need to know right there.
Mm.
Yeah, I got the God bumps.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then
love
it circles back, like for, in the experience, because there's certainly you not have that experience of fear, and I don't know that in the moment. Can find it by complete forgiveness, which is not a pardoning of what I think is wrong, but a letting go of what I think that I needed.
Yeah.
And then the letting go of what I think that I needed is attached to the way I identified myself in the moment. So that identity is going to collapse, which is my belief in separation. And then I realized that that wasn't actually true.
Yeah. A pardoning puts you above someone else too. You're not equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're all equal in this.
Mm.
Yeah, there's some real safety there.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
The real purpose of this world is to use it to correct your unbelief. I mean,
Mm.
that's what all this shit is for, you guys.
I
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
I like how it says your belief.
Yeah.
Correct. Your belief, not everyone else's, not what
Mhm.
they believe. It's what you believe. Because once you do that, you heal in your own mind, and then that just goes out there.
Mm.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you try to keep those good thoughts.
Mm.
Everyone's perception is a projection of
Oh my gosh, yes.
Of this story, I am this person.
Mm. Mm.
Like, whoa, oh my gosh.
Mm.
So I thought this was great, as I'll start writing in the chat where we stopped and where we're picking up for next week.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That'll
Yeah.
be for all of us.
I'm the old-fashioned girl.
I write it down too, but it just helps because sometimes
Yes.
If somebody misses a week,
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
And if I did, now how'd you get in? But how did everyone get in? Did you find it? You found it in the group, Fran?
Yeah.
How'd you get in, Brad? Because
I tried previous emails and they had different IDs. So I logged into Facebook and went to the group and found a previous post.
okay, I'll send an email again this week. It'll still have that same.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just think mine in the I just have you somehow you're in my primary email, so you're just down a couple. I just look for Maureen and I
Okay.
think it's the original one you sent out. And that's the one I use.
I think I use the same link every time, so it shouldn't change.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
But if you have a problem, I'll try to be better checking my phone and stuff.
Okay.
No. I got in. I got in good.
Okay. Mm,
Jenny, you got in well?
yeah.
Yeah, I got in okay. I went to the group, same as Brad, and found the link and just
Yeah,
clicked on
because the link is, I have it saved.
Tent.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the
it. So it
top.
was easy enough. Thank you.
Okay, okay,
It was
good.
good today. I learned a lot.
Oh, good.
I know she's always so quiet.
I'm always
I
afraid
like to
when
listen.
someone doesn't show up that they're not going to come back. I mean, I'm not afraid, but
Yeah, right. No. Last week I had something planned already, so I couldn't make it.
oh, that's
This week I was here, but I like to listen and read.
life happens. Sometimes I'm going to have to ask somebody to lead it for me. I'll give you my login information because I won't be able to make it. Just FYI.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
summer's coming too, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I run a lot, so I have big races sometimes on the
Oh,
weekend.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
try to make it every time.
I know you're gonna get a bigger workout. I seen your Facebook post. You're like, oh, I got hills.
It's different. Florida was so flat. Now the heat was
Yeah.
rough in Florida, so you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
get heat
Mhm.
acclimated. I'd be running out there in 100-degree weather with the
Mm.
humidity and the dew point's crazy. But here, the hills, whew,
Mhm. Mhm.
You're like, my legs are on fire.
It pushes your heart rate up.
it
Oh
does.
yeah,
It's really good. I follow my little digital stuff. I keep
yeah.
trying
That's good.
to stay alive.
I know it's so funny in these times. You're like, I can't go exercise. I forgot my watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I will do it anyway, but yeah, it stinks.
All right, who wants to pray us out? I'm like so bossy today, ain't I?
Oh, I like it's okay. I like it.
I always go, I'm not bossy. I just know what you should be doing.
You're not you're not bossy. It's just your personality. You're outgoing, and that's it. We love you. Don't come off rude or mean or.
No, it's the oldest daughter of 5 kids, so
And I have a sister who's the oldest of 5 kids, so I get it.
yeah.
Mm. I'm the oldest of 8.
And the oldest of it, yeah, there's something about oldest kids. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. They're always telling me how bossy I was. I said, how would you feel if you were 7 and you had 6 siblings underneath you? You'd be bossy too, right? Wow.
Oh my, anyway,
Brad, do you want to pray us out?
yes.
Sure. God, we go forth from here today having received so much from this call, so much clarity, so much peace, so much affirmation, so much reassurance and total assurance that all of this is already done. And so help us to remember that in our interactions with others, that we can listen to them from who and where they are, not from who and where our minds tell us should be, because we no longer need that. We're so grateful. Thank you for blessing us today, and help us to keep you close throughout the day today and throughout every day. Amen.
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 That's lovely.
Excuse me.
Bless you, Maury.
Bless you.
I just that while
One
you
thing,
beautiful prayer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
it was beautiful. A beautiful day.
That was lovely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time is. I'm so grateful.
Yeah. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
we got a good group.
Yeah.
I think so too. And
Yeah.
I'm going to Texas in April, but you never know. I'll probably go to Lutheran church and then I'll get on the computer.
Nice.
A whole
Hey,
new world.
Rebecca, are you a gardener?
Yes, I am.
Do you want any flower seeds? Does anybody? I'm happy to mail some out if y'all want any.
I'll
Yeah,
take
I've sent you.
I have to learn to be a gardener because we
Me too.
Okay.
have an area around the front I have to plant.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you have? Where do you live from?
I'm in North Carolina.
Oh,
I
that's
know
right.
I have like Cosmos daisies, hibiscus, and liatris. Just that's what's on the top of my head. But I probably have some other stuff too.
Yes. Do
Take some for sure.
you want me to give you my address? Do
No,
we send
I'll,
back?
I will, can I message you through Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. And Maureen, I'll email you, get your address.
Yeah,
So,
I'll give you my email and stuff on the message, so then, because that's a much
Yeah.
better way to communicate. So
yeah. Okay.
yeah, I do garden. In fact, that's why that's the only thing holding me with the snow. I'm like, it's gardener's gold, gardener's gold. All
Yeah.
my plants are going to be gorgeous this year.
I'm not great with, I don't have a green thumb or anything, but I need,
Me neither.
Oh, that's great because these will be so easy. These are
Yeah,
real
those are
easy
easy.
seeds. So you'll be very encouraged.
That's what
Cosmos are beautiful.
inspired me today.
Cosmo and cosmos will come back. They're perennial too. So
thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, bye. See you all.
Bye, y'all.
Week, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye, bye, Jenny.
See you later.